Well, hey there.
Hump day? What's going on, Chuck?
What? We will get kicked off of YouTube yet. Damn right. My camera's not straight. Hey, what the fuck's going on, Josh?
I
There
don't
we
know.
go. See, I got the whole 1/3 thing going. I'm like pro. More like 5/16 maybe. How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? I don't know why I'm asking. I know y'all motherfuckers. I've been talking to you all day, except for Raz.
Yeah, Raz ignores us.
Oh, you hear it?
The only thing I hear is my ass going off nonstop. I'm probably going to have to dip out for 5 minutes.
Oh, I hope you heard that sound. It's a glorious sound.
Oh, screw it.
I'm making coffee. Whoa,
Wow.
dude. You need to with that light.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll just do this.
But your pretty face.
I know. Well,
What's
since
up,
I'm going to be
J-Bo?
looking down a majority of the time anyway, buddy might as well see what I'm looking down at, because it's either that or I'm busy fondling myself, which is okay.
Yeah, I would have been okay with thinking that the whole stream. Jessica, Razman, Jazo, Mystery D, Tommy the G.
Wiggity
Yeah, we need to change that. It's not Tommy G no more. It's Tommy the G.
Tommy the J.
He says that's a pretty little thing, Josh.
Yeah, well, thank you. I like it. I haven't flown it yet, but it's coming this weekend.
I was going to say he's talking about the quad, bro.
I had no idea. Oh.
Yeah, so this is a show, and you guys are watching us.
Watching? Yeah. We're like waiting to see what happens, not expecting a whole lot. If they were expecting things, they wouldn't be here.
I was going to say, I don't know why either, but
they come just to show their support like good friends.
Yeah, I figure that's about it, but I don't mind. I like hanging with y'all.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when you're saying a bunch of junk and I can make fun of it. Let's see what here.
You know, Chuck, I feel like I hit the jackpot sometimes, and it's never when I expect to hit it.
I know what you're getting at.
You know, you go to cool places to do cool things, to fly cool spots, and you know, I feel like the majority of the time when I hit a cool spot, it turns out to be like, meh. But you know, when we go places like the church, or I come to Atlanta, Georgia, and end up at a local elementary school, that's where I have the most fun.
Hey, dude, do you remember when I went back to my elementary school and flew?
I do.
Probably the coolest school I've flown at. Just ridiculous features, and those trees were just, oh. I want to fly them some more now that I'm actually decent. Remember that first video I did when I went back home in the eucalyptus forest, man?
I do.
It was horrible. I had to be creative to like make it watchable.
Well, and I still get some of that. Some of that is just bad luck too, because you know, I've been sitting on some more footy from when you and I were together. And my problem is that I'm missing 2 video files that I was going to use to help tie everything together.
Ooh.
And I think part of the problem is I didn't look and see what I had in my folder and then build around that. I already knew in my head what I had, not realizing that I wasn't recording or something those, you know, for those other 2 packs. And so now everything that I've been thinking about doing isn't able to be done, and now I'm stuck.
You're just proper fucked.
Yeah, well. But I posted the elementary school, and I can't even explain why that was such a good time. It's just that the spot lent itself to the way I like to fly. And I guess I wasn't expecting much either, but and then I had a real good time doing some tree dancing. You guys haven't seen that yet. I probably will not edit it till tomorrow on the plane ride, which means you won't see it till at least Friday.
I have noticed that when you are least expecting it, like you said, and when you're not expecting much out of yourself, magic happens sometimes.
It do.
Oh, what the fuck is that thing? Sorry, I was looking over a good old pyro drone to see if there was anything cool and interesting to show you guys. Looks like it's pretty much all DJI drone shit. Except for this one frame is quite interesting. It almost looks Chuck proof, except for the arms.
What? Get the hell out of here.
I swear, I'll share it.
Chuck proof. That must be like code speak for something, because it sure as hell doesn't mean that you can't destroy it.
Dude, this thing's pretty gnarly. Looking anyway.
5-inch frame?
Yeah. There you go.
Let's see here.
Thing looks like some shit out of Tron, bro.
Speedy B 5-inch. Is that metal alloy on the front, or is that just like painted plastic?
I'm pretty sure that's metal alloy. Oh, they got pictures. Got more. It is kind of sexy. I don't like those arms, but it's kind of sexy. Wonder if alien arms would fit on it.
There we go.
Single bottom. Yeah. Yeah, that bottom plate would break like a motherfucker. It's $50. Not horrible. Better be decent carbon though.
50's not bad. I feel like that's a really good average spot anymore. I mean, I remember when there was no middle ground. You remember when frames were either $100 or $20?
Yes, I do.
Like, you knew what you were getting. You were either getting something great, or here's the funny part: some of those $100 frames were real turds. So you thought you were getting something really good, or you knew you were buying garbage. But that's okay, because you were just going to trash it anyway.
The first mount designed by Speedy B compatible with 19 and 20 millimeter wide cameras at the same time.
What?
Swap them left and right to support blah blah blah. So apparently it does something cool.
What is it? Flip upside down becomes compatible with.
You know what? I think that's exactly what it does. Swap them left and right. So basically, yeah.
What?
You switch them. You switch them, man.
Oh, it's just compatible with more camera sizes. Never mind. I don't know what I was hearing.
I mean, that's not something you really see as part of a frame. Oh, and that's a nice feature. The slide-in second stack bolt there thing.
Dude, that's a must anymore. If you can't design a frame in a way that stack screws don't need to be removed to change arms, you don't need to be designing frames. Right?
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, that is, and you and I still live in that world, that is the only thing that is like a huge pain in the ass.
Pretty sure that's aluminum. It doesn't say, but it just says CNC side plate. But I am pretty damn sure because all the standoffs are aluminum.
Huh. That's neat.
Ray, this thing's right up your alley, bro. I don't know about that bottom plate though, man. That looks very snappy. Fuck that thing up right
See those?
there.
Yeah, those slots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the top plate, because of where those slots are. Do you see them? They run between the middle standoff.
These two, yeah, real thin spots right there
I
at the
mean, look at
standoffs.
that.
It ain't bad up front, but in the back, not that
Yeah.
you're hitting the back that much. It's cool looking. I'll give them that. I actually really like it. Not that I would ever buy it because, I'm a dick rider.
Dick Rider.
I mean, other than that, we can look at, DJI FPV quad shit because that's all Pyro's new products right now.
Oh, it's all DJI oriented.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say I'm totally surprised.
Hey, he's got to make his money too, Dow. That shit's
Right.
hyped up right now. Yeah, I think you're right, Mr. ED. A heavy lipo will just rip that top plate to shreds. Excuse me while I make me some Fruity Pebble coffee. You guys can think I'm disgusting or weird, but this shit is the fucking bomb.
I'm gonna stick with disgusting or weird. Maybe disgusting and weird.
And bomb.
Putting words in my mouth again.
Yeah, I'm good at it. Putting things in your mouth. Swing better.
This week we had just amongst us in our private little group for anybody who's not privy to Lay Hotel, we had some discussion about inspiration.
There's some inspiration right there.
Damn straight. And you're welcome, because that arm change was obviously coming anyway.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt your little speech, but that was hilarious.
Oh, no, you're good, bro. I was just, it got me thinking because, with everything that happened in the last year, you guys know I fell off for a little while. You and the other guys rescued me from, myself. And then it took me a little bit to kind of fully get back into it. Now it's to a point, I'm out flying all the time now, just loving it. But in that time, there was a big period of time where I wasn't really watching many other people. I would watch the people in our circles videos just because I like to keep up on what everybody's doing. I like to think everybody keeps up on some of what I'm doing. But I wasn't really watching any of the Mr. Steele's, Schizo quit flying. Every now and then he posts something on Facebook. But as far as I'm concerned, he quit flying. And there's a lot of other people that even went back. Who was it? The weird beard guy. Jesus, why can't I remember his name?
Stingy or Chuck It.
Well, no, you're not Weird Beard. He had that really strange straight beard that looked like a curtain. I don't know. It just wasn't normal. But yeah, Stingy. And, he got busy with work, decided he couldn't make money off FPV anymore. Anyway, and then, of course, you get flooded and inundated with all the people that think they're hot stuff flying circles around bushes. Well, about 8 weeks ago, I started just kind of cruising the tubes again. And I come across Slat FPV. Have you watched Slat FPV?
Never even heard of him.
All right.
I'm really out of touch with new pilots.
Well, and he's not new. When I first saw him, he was new, but he's coming a long way. I would put him in some ways, but more entertaining, similar to Drib. He's got that flow, that real solid flow. Like Steel has flow, but it's got so many tricks intermingled that you can't always appreciate the transition in the flow because you're busy watching tricks. Do you know what I mean? And that's good. That's his style. It's like real intense, right? Well, Slat can see where his Drib, he's all about flow, but it can almost get boring if he's not doing a good job keeping it up because he keeps the tricks in a minimum, right? Slat falls right in between those guys for me. But not coming from them, he of course has his own style. You know, Vic, I was on Vic for a while. I kind of let it go because there's a lot of the same stuff coming out of Vic. It's a hard thing when you consider yourself a content provider and a content creator and you're trying to push that stuff out to the tube for people to watch and appreciate, to always be bringing something new. I get that. But the reality is that sometimes it just gets to be a lot of the same. But
Thank you, Off Access.
Thank you very much, sir.
You know where that goes.
Right back to the community.
If we ever do anything with it.
We will. But yeah, so I mean, I found Slat. I started watching Steel again. Steel, you know, every now and then he takes another notch up.
I'll tell you what I actually like about Steel is that he doesn't really plan anything. Like a lot of everybody out there, they want to make the perfect video. They want to get their lines right. They just want to plan it out. Oh, I'm going to do a trick over here, and then I'm going to dive this building, and so it'll flow good in the video. He's just like, I'm at the playground. What's to play on?
Yep. And that's one of the things I really dig with him. His ability, though, to tie those together in transition when not being familiar with a spot. But, you know, I've been taking some inspiration from Chris, because Chris has really been putting some stuff out.
MD, baby.
Yes, MD95 TSI. And then with Slat mixed in there. And who was the other person I've recently just been all over?
Oh, it was that Chucky guy.
Video, I have to watch it.
It's that Chucky guy, right?
Well, always. But, you know, I would be curious where everybody takes some of their inspiration from. Because Vic was a big, big inspiration for me when I felt like I really leveled up or started towards the level up, you know, to where I'm at now. I took a lot of things from Vic.
He got me into tricks. Because, I mean, that's pretty much what he's all about as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, he does some cool gaps and stuff, but he's a trickster 100%.
Yeah. But he's another one that has that solid flow, and he has the ability to really assess his location. But I don't know that he sight reads a place the way Steel does.
No, I was just going to say he's about the opposite of that. He's even done videos showing you how to plan out like your lines, and I think he's kind of an orderly guy. Oh, yeah.
Flux smoke. Whew.
Damn, that's the thing too.
But, you know, there were days, and I know there will be more days, where I set up at a spot and I beat the same things, the same lines, the same gaps over and over again, trying to make something perfect. But a few weeks before I went to see you for the weekend, I really started this idea of trying to find new spots in my area and in the areas where I had been going, because I had been going to Michigan nonstop. I started finding new spots, and because light was limited up until recently, my thing was find a spot, hit it, hit the next spot, like 1 or 2 packs, leave. No time to learn the spot, to figure out where the lines were, to put it all together to try to make a 1-pack rip. And that is where I have been living, is trying to get better at sight reading, reacting, really being on top of my throttle control and my response, to a point where you don't have to have the intuition of where everything is in order to line it up, because you have set yourself up to read it as well as you're going to read it.
I mean, that's been where I live for years now. Welcome to my world.
I've played with that off and on, but one of my goals is always to have some flow. I like to transition between things, and that's been the hardest thing to do. Sometimes you're either just not feeling a spot, or you're not in the mind, you know, to to really take it in and process it. But the spot I was at yesterday at the school, it was like one of those spots. You ever been to a spot and you feel like it was made for you?
Absolutely.
You've
And
never
then you
been
know
there
what?
before, but you felt like you couldn't do anything wrong.
You know what? Absolutely. Except sometimes I've found that, and then I went back to that spot, and then I was just utter rubbish.
Yes, but that's okay because what we're talking about is, that entire thing that comprises the moments, that time when you're there. When you and I went to that high rise, you were all about it, and there was nothing just happening.
Glad to hear it.
All right, Ray, glad Jess is feeling better already. Somebody got her second shot, was feeling a little crummy, so Ray's been playing nurse.
But yeah, man. Since I've been doing that since I started flying, because I'm in the truck. First, it started with rest stops. Every single one of my videos is a rest stop, man, and everyone's different. And then I got into flying corporate centers. At which point I started getting into really cool architecture, gaps, dive gaps. And I think I actually got so obsessed that I wouldn't fly unless it was a psycho spot. And I went through that phase for a little while. And then said, fuck it, jug it. Fly whatever's, dude.
It's just cool when it comes together. And there's a lot of things that go into it that I'm really starting to appreciate now. And a lot of it you can even tie back to music, right? So anybody who's a musician knows you're going to make mistakes or something's going to happen outside of your control. And what is the number one thing when you're playing that you do with that? You play through it. You recover.
Yeah, recover or make something out of it.
Right. And if you think about all the greatest people, the people that ended up being some of those great bands, you go watch them live. If you listen, you can hear mistake after mistake, little thing after little thing. You've experienced, if you've been to any concerts or seen any live ones, even on, that are televised and whatnot, the things that were encountered that weren't planned and they had to figure out, how to handle it. Well, I've come to find a lot of parallels in FPV when you want to provide a video that you want other people to watch. And the recovery of the accidents is probably one of the hardest things to learn to transition.
A quote from a great truck driver and a wonderful pilot that doesn't talk to anyone ever. Holy squish, right? Oh man, I set that up so good I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Fuck. I'm tired.
Okay.
Man, it was really good too. I want to remember. What did you say?
Squish has said all kinds of things, so I have no idea.
No, what were you saying before?
Well, just that the transition on dealing with mistakes is so important. And what I mean is the mistake is going to happen. Minimum.
Accidentally on purpose counts.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Well, see, when I hear accidentally on purpose, all I hear is I didn't plan for that to happen, but it counts.
It is really cool.
Which is not the same thing as recovering from mistakes or problems.
Oh no.
I don't feel like it's the same thing to me.
What's up, Mr. J? But yeah, you overthink shit, so that's nothing new.
And I really started appreciating that note when I was doing the tree dancing this week. I did that yesterday too.
Vampire was saying, so what you're saying is like when a plan comes together. I would say no. I would say just going with the flow, being adaptable, letting things happen. and guiding it slightly. But that's me. And that's why I do like 500 left rolls in every video, you know, because I'm not thinking about it.
Even those of us who say we don't do that, do that.
One time I watched one of my videos and I counted, and there was like 18 or 19 left rolls in a 3-minute video.
Yeah, well, I don't have any of my crossfire pinouts.
Vampire, don't disagree with me. I'm a trucker, bro. I'm always right. Fucking dick.
Check it out. For this small build, one of the things I was having a hard time finding was a small VTX, right? And the one that I wanted, I wanted the Tramp Mini, the Tramp Micro, right?
Nano, yeah.
But whatever it is. But I only buy from Pyro to keep my points consolidated and everything. And it just wasn't coming in stock, wasn't coming in stock, wasn't coming in stock. And this thing was just sitting there taunting me. And even though it was in the pictures, I didn't realize it. But see, this triangular board is actually around the VTX. The VTX is very small. This is that Rush Tiny Tank.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I don't know how good they are. I mean, Eric swears by Rush, but I've heard otherwise from other people, so who knows?
Yeah, well, Eric likes crummy things sometimes. So, I mean, he does hang out with us.
Yeah,
but,
good point.
You know, after I got it, which, you know, I got a little ahead of myself here, but that's actually going to sit under the board. This is actually a whoop style mounting board. It does come with a 16 by 16 mounting board too. But the cool thing about it is not only can you mount the Rush on one side on both of these, but you can also mount the Crossfire to it. And then it has pinouts for both VTX and for Crossfire, which in these smaller builds sometimes can be hard to find. So what I was doing was just trying to see if it made sense to put the Crossfire on here. But this little board is really cool. Like I said, it's whoop size. It only sits between 3 of the standoffs, but it actually has 4 LEDs built right in, which really caught my attention because when I got this, I don't remember who I was talking to, but I said, man, it'd be really cool if this thing had some little LEDs on it.
And you're going to hide them under that ginormous ESC.
Well, they're actually going to stick out the sides. If you see the way this fits.
Oh, nice.
So they're actually going to hang out the side. Yeah, the whole thing's actually coming together pretty darn good. But the Tiny Tank, you know, supports pit mode, 25 milliwatt, I want to say 100, 200, and either 300 or 350. So for being a small size, it does support a really good range of output powers. And Rush is a name in the VTX market, so it's not like this is, you know, some Bobo shit claiming it outputs 4 watts and, you know, when you get it, it does half a watt.
What is up, Sidewinder? I had to put my Sidewinder bling on because I roll with the gold, baby. What's the secret?
Only thing is then I can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah, Tommy G, you totally aren't you getting one? I was gonna say you should, but I think I remember. Sidewinder, are you slacking on Tommy G's freaking lanyard, bro? I don't know. I could just be talking out my ass. You know, I do that a lot. Some barking spiders, I swear.
Oh, I know what I'll do.
Mr. J, you need one of these too. Talk to that man right there, Sidewinder Customs FPV. He is a magician with this stuff right here. Hey, Sidewinder, you think I could wash this thing in the washer and just air dry it?
Heck yeah.
It's just getting a little nasty. Oh, he did. Okay. See, I'm talking out my ass. I bet my breath stinks.
Oh, it stank, all right. Smell like all that ash you've been eating.
Stink, stank, stunk.
Stunk. So I
See?
didn't realize Jabo was in the Atlanta area. He, of course, messages me tonight as it's dark and raining and says, "How much longer are you in town?"
Like tomorrow.
Yeah. So next time I come back, I have a feeling I'll be back.
They're setting up for a launch down there or what?
Not just yet. What they're doing is just rolling out barcode labeling and scanning. So I'm here to put all that hardware and their printers and design their labels and basically just make all that work and tie together.
Is there something wrong with your mic, bro? All I heard was wah 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 wah. Corporate term wah wah wah.
Well, you asked me about work. Don't ask me about work, then want me.
Well, I mean, guy can't set himself up. A guy can't throw his own layup. This ain't volleyball, motherfucker. I can set my own layup. Yeah, you can watch it. Might shrink.
And I can smash your shit right into the net too.
Right. To be honest, I'd wonder a little shrink might do good for this thing because I've had it for quite some time now, and it's gotten a little stretched out, and I tear it up a little bit.
Tear it up.
Still going strong though. But earlier we had half a conversation about who we look to for inspiration.
Yep.
And we kind of just sidetracked from that.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, well, we're addle-brained fat asses, so it helps.
What'd you call me?
I called you my heterosexual life mate.
Mind-addled. I take offense to that.
So, who besides this guy I never heard of is your inspiration, sir, at the moment?
Well, I don't remember the other name. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to remember it, but I'm going to end up having to look it up.
Is it one of them juicy guys?
I think it is. Oh, Farouk.
Yeah, another guy. I've heard you guys talk about him, but I'm like 1980s drone pilot,
Well, here's the deal with Farouk. So Farouk is an S-Bang pilot. And, recently S-Bang, or whatever is all the rage. And everybody says they can fly it. But I'm going to tell you guys, as you guys walk around and talk about how you're S-Banging, if you're not S-Banging like Farouk, you're not S-Banging. I've seen some people that call S-Bang just kind of twitching and, flipping in a direction out in an open field. I'm sorry. That ain't going to cut it.
I don't even know what that means.
Well,
it's just juicy, right?
No, S-Bang is actually a play on juicy. Juicy, if you ask me, if you want to textbook juicy, you watch Wild Willie, right? Wild Willie, as far as I'm concerned, pioneered that style. If somebody else did, somebody's going to have to educate me, but he pioneered that style. And it was just a way of moving the drone and transitioning between objects and tricks, right?
Yeah, and keeping your focal point on an object as you're going near it and tricking and
right. Things like that. But doing it with grace, like no sudden movements per se. It was all about making everything super intentional. S-Bang incorporates this idea of anti-gravity.
Oh yeah, baby. Sabang, sabang. That was a good one. So what, this S-Bang shit is just like Squish, all jerky and crazy?
Squish is a variant. He has his own style of S-Bang that he was working on before S-Bang was a word.
I'll give him that.
Okay. But to watch it defined, you have to watch Farouk. So S-Bang is very similar to Squish. If you watch Farouk, you'll see a lot of similarities. And the difference between Juicy and S-Bang is that S-Bang does work in open fields and open places where there aren't obstacles. Some people take that a little too far because Farouk will go in the trees and go in different places and use obstacles, you know. But there's a lot of people that are out flying open fields, just flipping around. But it incorporates this idea of anti-gravity. So it's really big on yaw movements, and it's really big on inverted moves. So inverted and inverted yaw moves, and then incorporating that with throttle control that you see where Chris does the roll, and he keeps rolling, but he blips the throttle every time he's upright to keep himself in the air.
Yeah.
That's actually an S-Bang technique. So if you can picture that, you know, you're upside down, you're doing an inverted yaw spin, you do a flip, but as you are doing that flip and right side yourself up, you blip that throttle to give yourself a little boost into the air and seamlessly flip back upside down and go into, say, an opposing turn yaw spin. And it's really neat. But you can see where it has its own techniques and its own skill set, and it's definitely not something that anybody can do just right out of the gates. And again, I've seen a lot of people talking about how they fly S-Bang and they ain't flying S-Bang.
Yeah, I'm watching
And
him do
it's
it
coming
right
from a
now.
guy that does not fly S-Bang, and I'm okay with that. I do not do every style.
I'm actually watching him right now. I have seen this video before. Yeah, it just looks like what Squish does with more grace.
Just a little bit.
And he's doing it in a straight open field, too.
Right.
You know what?
Open field will play in because it's hard to put yourself in a really enclosed area and do some of the stuff he's doing.
That's what Squish has been doing, though. Yeah. I see this as a style that comes from not having a lot of cool obstacles to fly around.
Right?
A guy who has nothing but an open field gets really good and ends up flying like this. I get it though. I mean, it's always having movement, no straight line flying.
No.
And that's actually something I've struggled with for years, is to trick in between things, to transition, to move in a weird way to get me over to the next obstacle I'm looking for or whatever. I'll just fly over to it and then do something.
That's one of my flaws too that I've been trying to work on. Oh man.
No, but I got some down dog.
So next time you're talking to Squish, I don't know if he recorded it, but he can at least point you to the video where Farouk does his damnedest. In fact, it might have even been in an interview to define and describe what S-Bang is. Because until you've heard it in broken English from this guy, you have not had it defined.
What the fuck are you going on about, Vampire? Sorry, Josh. I got sidetracked.
You're good.
Anyways.
The fuck are you talking about?
I'm just reading, like, okay. I was like, he's arguing with himself, but I probably missed something. Oh, okay. James Ford is here.
I saw that. What is up, dog?
Yeah, I don't know. Ford, if you're here and want to come in, you can.
Never mind. What's up, dog? Good job, Blizzard. Great. That was beautiful.
I'm just glad I didn't say it. Sphincter says what?
That was great. I have no anger, no hurt feelings about that. That was masterful.
Well timed.
Okay. Now I'm moving on from it. I really had to process what just happened here.
What's up, Double A? Well, I would have to say that my inspiration almost always comes from people I get to fly with. For a while there, a good example is Double A. Who actually inspired me for a little bit there. And Double A's not a crazy flyer. He just doesn't risk his quads as much. He likes to fly around smoothly and do some tricks here and there. And then, you know what? He kind of inspired me to chill out a little bit. But fortunately for me and my namesake, that didn't last long. But he inspired me nonetheless. Chris has inspired me massively. He'll downplay it all the fucking time, but MD is just, he's finding a new way for himself, and I think it's really cool. The latest person to give me a little inspiration is probably not a surprise, is Mr. Josh Withrow. He started and it was just one trick. It's the look back double roll. It's not even that hard of a trick, but man, that discombobulates the fuck out of my brain when I do it. Seriously. I'll be like, which way did I go? But I have to have that trick now. I must increase my bust.
Bro, that is one of those tricks that really allowed me to take everything to the next level because of everything that it incorporates. And I took that from Vic FPV. He loves putting himself between a gap, and for a while he was doing it a lot. He put himself between a gap, flip inverted, and just spin out of it and then yaw out of that. And I was like, oh, that is fucking awesome. And I had to work on that for a long time.
Hey, I've been wanting that for a long time myself, but then I can't stay on one subject for 2 seconds, so I just kind of forgot about it for a while. And then I see Josh doing it like really well recently, and I'm just like, ooh, gimme. And Double A, that's what I do. I help people break their quads.
And I do take a lot of inspiration from Chris too. I don't like to tell him because it goes to his head.
Well, I know he ain't listening because he would have said something about that already.
Right? Yeah, something about me giving him head. But no, I take a lot from the people we fly around, and I think that's only natural. You especially if you spend enough time around other people, in order to not take in some of the things they do that you happen to notice would almost be a conscious thing. Like you would have to be so ingrained in what you're doing and so set on what you're doing as to, I feel like, consciously try not to take that in.
Agreed. Blizzard. I think we pretty much all had a wizard problem when we started. We couldn't break it fast enough to find something better. You know what? With Blizzard, freaking Chris still has like 2 wizards. Fully built, liable.
Yep, and as far as I'm concerned, they're museum pieces. You will probably never see those out flying.
Yeah, no. Hell, I mean, it only took about a year, but we actually got him flying the alien.
Yeah, and that's definitely a conversation in and of itself, isn't it?
All right. Vampire, I would agree with that. The only thing you inspire is throwing up. 100, baby. Hey, you know what? I'll give you something though, Vamp. You don't fly like anybody.
Nope.
Like, you have a unique style, and that is really rare, actually.
Well,
Everybody says, hey, everybody flies their own way. Everybody has their own style. That's bullshit.
no. Most people take stuff from all the different places that, they watch, the people they hang out with. And you're right. He is one of the few people that nothing he does, I don't see anything coming from, except maybe Bot Grinder. Just kidding. Actually, I see the opposite. I see things that Bot Grinder has picked up off of him.
I bet if I watched Bachrider that I would see that. I can see that happening.
It's
Because
small things, but they're there.
don't say nope, vampire. We told you about disagreeing with us, or at least me. No, yeah, dude, I can see that happening for sure because, dude, vampire, nobody tries to do the shit you do, man.
Why would anybody?
I mean, it's half compliment, half talking shit, but it's still it's still a good thing. I can't say that I have a unique style at all, except for the whole "fuck you" tree thing.
Do you have a style?
I don't think so.
I don't think any one of us consciously can sit here and say we thought we had a style. But if you go back and you watch your stuff, you'll see the things that are your personality. Even though you borrow things from all of the places around you, I do. You'll see the things that are you.
Yeah, smashing into things. My style is the fuck are you? Fuck are me? No, fuck are you?
Like you.
So who inspires you, vampire? No. The hugger is the wrong word, Blizzard. I'm sorry. I don't do that. I will fly full speed into a frickin' tree and come out the other side or bounce off the frickin' branches and fly on, baby, like I meant to do it.
And managed to only break the optical lens on the FPV camera.
Yeah. A lot of that. Damn, yeah, I remember that one, man, where I just speared the camera.
That's exactly the one on that one tree.
Yeah, dude. I did this crazy look back and I held it for so long. It was so beautiful and perfect. And when I flipped around at the last second, wham! A branch went directly through the middle of the lens, through the freaking sensor, probably out the back of the damn case. That was beautiful.
I was just going to say, it was still beautiful. That look back, it was so long. It was like it was never going to end.
Oh,
And
I
just
held
in
it.
time to catch that branch just dead center.
And man, I probably would have smashed into the trailer behind the tree if I hadn't, but that was probably to this day my most glorious look back. No hesitation, held strong the whole way for what seemed like way too long. And that was 4S. Good night, vampire.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit slow tonight. I know I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to get all my stuff together because in 2 weeks, I take my 2 youngest daughters to San Diego with me. I actually have to go to Yuma, so we're going to do a day in 2 days in San Diego, drive to Yuma, and I've already got a route planned in there that's got some cool stuff that is going to be flown.
I was gonna say all I want to know is you taking a couple quads.
Of course.
So the daughters can complain and play on their phones while you rip shit up.
Well, and even they know, it's usually a couple minutes. They know it's not going to take long.
Dude,
2 packs,
mystery.
man.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say 2 packs and move on.
Right. Mystery. We've been telling you since you fucking met us, bro. Wouldn't fucking believe us. No. All those guys are using 6S. I'm going to be the rebel. 4S is good enough for me. Fuck
Nobody needs
you.
success. Blah, blah,
6S.
blah.
Huh, man, I'm waiting for 7S to get popular now.
It'll probably flop like 5S. If it's not an even number, nobody wants it.
Right. So we need some like 8S 650 packs. Is that what's going down?
All right. Excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah, but double A,
All
I
right.
don't think you need more than 4S, brother. I mean, you do have a style, and 4S is plenty. And I probably wouldn't say that for many other people. And that is a compliment, no matter what it sounds like.
Look, I, to this day, do not think there is a huge difference between 4S and 6S until you get to that last 30 seconds.
I disagree.
And I feel like there is way more amperage on request for the end of the pack than anything else. And I say that partly because the 6S packs I fly are tiny, and those little cells do have a hard time keeping up compared to a larger cell. See, the 4S are larger cells, part of how they are able to keep up a little bit. But I don't want to gain power by also adding weight, which then nulls the extra little bit of power that you squeak out. So really the only difference is that you don't get that sag on that just terrible sag on the last 30 seconds of the pack. Instead, what you get is we're good.
The land now button. Yeah, I have taken more 6S packs down to like fucking 14 volts. I know. But I would also say that you desperately need new batteries, sir.
Well, I do, but that's besides the point. Even when they were new,
I was looking at those for the 3S AA. But no, I disagreed with you on that actually because 6S has a responsiveness that 4S just doesn't have. And you might want to say that it's a very slight thing, but absolutely not. It changed the way I flew. Maybe you say that because you're so used to 6S now? I didn't know. But I remember, bro, and when I got 6S, it was a fucking game changer.
well, one thing I try to be careful of, you'll get people that they like go, to a new motor where the stator volume really isn't that difference. And they're like, oh, it changed the way I flew. And they get a camera and they're like, oh, it's so different. And then you look at it for yourself and you're like, this motherfucker's blowing smoke. Yes,
You,
it's different. Yes, it's improved, but it's not this giant difference. And I felt that way the entire time with 6S. You were like, oh, it's so different. And I was like, it's different at the end of the pack, but I don't really notice any difference any other time because look, if anything, I noticed a little bit less oomph out of the gates because I was flying 2700 kV 4S motors. I'm flying 1800 kV 6S, which is more like a 2400 kV 4S.
well, I was doing the same exact thing.
I mean, you downsize your motors as far as their output, their rotational output to compensate for the voltage.
I was basically using the 4S version of a 6S, and so were you. We were using the same motor, same size, the
Yeah.
2700s, with low pitch props. Yeah. But nah, bro, nah. And I'll put Mystery D out there that like I put on the screen right there is a very fresh perspective on the matter. And I don't think it's just because he's super stoked that he upgraded either. But yeah, I think the handling changes. It allows me to have more stopping power when I need it. Coming out of dives is better.
Hmm.
I mean, yes, these are not monumental fucking changes, but when you put all these little things together, absolutely changed the way I flew.
Well, maybe I am jaded. I don't know.
And I push my batteries harder now too, because I know I can.
I do notice I do that. I push mine harder than I pushed 4S.
Because you always knew that sag was coming and you wanted to be able to fly for a few minutes and have decent power at the end of the pack.
Well, not just that, but once you get a dozen or two cycles on your batteries with 4S, you would notice that sag, especially. And if you were really dogging the battery and then you tried to get a little more out of it, it just wouldn't have it. And with 6S, you do have that. But that's part of what I'm saying is for your standard flying, your cruising, that stuff, I just don't feel like it's that different. It's on the perimeter. It's the things you notice on the edges. At least for me. That's where I always noticed it.
I don't know if you've noticed, but over the years, that's where I try and stay on the edge, pushing it hard. Making the quad perform to the extent of its abilities as much as I can. Why are you thanking me, Double A? Kind of tired, bro. I don't what I miss. All the C's. Thanks, Chuck. I'm so confused. You're welcome. I hope, I guess. It's always flown backwards, bro. You just got to turn the quad around.
I'm sitting here trying to formulate like how to even respond to this.
You got to go with the first thing, man. I didn't even think. Just mouth vomit or whatever. Mouth diarrhea. Never noticed the sag on 4S because I always landed at storage voltage. And you know what? I'll tell you something else, Mr. ED. Are you using the Ovonics like we all told you to?
No.
No.
Using these fat ass CNHLs.
The ginormous fucking bricks, dude.
They're the 1100 mob, but CNHLs are bigger anyway.
Yeah, it's Bardwell showed it a long time ago when he did all that testing that those are actually like 1300s.
Well, CNHL has been doing that since the days of 3S.
Yeah, they make a bigger battery.
To make up, for some flaws in their cells.
Yeah. See where I like it. Blizzard's on point tonight. Read the sentence above, then it makes sense.
It's coming one thing at a time. I will say that one of the other big areas I'm noticing now, because these are still my first batch of 6S's. They are now 2 years old. I could not fly 4S packs for 2 years. They were unflyable.
To be honest, I don't fly 6S for 2 years, although I am running into the second year on this batch because I blew my fat wad on goggles.
Yeah, see, some of us aren't rich and their families expect them to do things like feed them. So sometimes I'm forced to make choices.
I'm not rich. I'm irresponsible. Get it
Whatever.
right.
I can't afford to be irresponsible.
Nope. You're just jealous.
I am.
You shouldn't be.
But yeah, even at 2 years, yes, I'm sure when I get some new ones, I'm going to notice a nice difference. But these are far from unflyable.
No, they aren't. You just got to really keep an eye on them. I flew two of Josh's batteries and took them both down to like 15, 14.
Yeah, I already don't have a ton of batteries. And he hands me 2 back puffed.
To be honest, I have never, well, maybe once, maybe twice I've puffed an Nirvanic a little bit. Otherwise, no.
The one already puffs a little bit when you get it hot, so
You're just like, here, fuck this one up. You knew what you were doing. That's
hey,
probably the one. That's probably the one I got in my bag.
oh god. A few of
Le-
mine, I've run down to 10 volts, and of course I'm like, oh, and I take it home and throw it straight on the charger and, try to undo a little bit of damage.
How you doing, James? It's the other Fordo.
Yep, the other Ford.
Man, that's gotta suck to be known as the other Ford. Wow. You're
Well,
a
if
dick,
anything,
Doc.
he's the original Ford.
It came out of your mouth, bro. Anyways, I've actually noticed that 6S Ovonics do have sag. They absolutely do. You don't feel it unless you're really paying attention, but it is there, and it's a very minute amount. It's not enough to affect how I fly. Obviously, I don't notice it in time, and I end up taking all my batteries to nothing all the time.
Hey, the first thing I did when I first got those 6S's is I did a lap around a parking lot and then I punched it and I held it. And yes, they will sag brand new right out of the gate if given the opportunity. But nobody flies at full throttle nonstop.
Reverend Ford.
Ah.
Um, yeah, but you know what? I could give a shit. And you know what? Vampire was actually he's not in here anymore, but he was actually one complaining that Ovonic sagged, and a few other people that have too. When I recommended them, they're like, "Oh, I would know, never. Those are shit." But you know what, bro? I usually get them for about $17, so I don't really give a shit. Joe the Sinner Ford. Ah, so, hey James, tell us a fucked up story about Joe.
I was waiting for it.
Come on, I hate to put you on the spot, but we want a good one so we can fuck with him
No,
later.
you don't. You love putting him on the spot.
I do. Yeah, so we can fuck with him later. I don't think he's listening.
Oh, where's my wire? I think he's listening on and off. I bet his hoodlums are running around like a pack of wild tornadoes in a trailer park.
Right? He's not listening because he would have said something by now.
Oh, that's not it. All right. Well,
He's probably chasing crackheads with his little digi fucking whoop. What is the nickname that you called little Joe when you were kids that he hated the most?
oh, straight for the.
Make it easy so you don't have to tell a whole story. Unless you want to. I will encourage that fully. You can come on the stream and start telling Joe stories if you want. That'd be great.
Oh shit!
I'll stretch out the stream another hour for that. I mean, we're basically killing time at this point. It's about our stream bedtime, but I
Well,
don't
it's
mind.
been an hour, so we've done fulfill our obligation, and there were some things I wanted to talk about, and I know again I apologize for being distracted, but
Jody. Okay, now, oh, you told me, Jody. I like it. What's the story? Just a brief synopsis on how Jody is the fucked up thing to call him.
Jolene, Jolene, Jolene,
I mean, I'm
Jolene.
gonna change his name in chat to Jody already. So, and he probably won't even realize this for a couple months. Good night, Mystery D. Enjoy the garage. Bedtime, my ass. That's code for the boy has gone to bed and it's time for daddy to have a little me time. I'm high already. Good night, brother. We'll talk to you tomorrow in the chat. But come on, James. I gotta have a little context with it so I can really stick it to him. I'm gonna play this one out. Milk it for all it's worth.
You know, it would be hilarious if Joe was ghosting, watching this, and now all of a sudden he appears.
I would laugh my ass off, but until then, I'm plotting. James isn't being very forthcoming though. I'm kind of getting a little miffed here.
Are you getting bored?
No, I'm deliriously tired. I have been for about the last 2 hours.
Miffed.
I'm drinking coffee and it's not even doing anything, and I'm using words like miffed. Is that even a word?
It is now.
He swung a cat by the tail and told my mother the cat liked when she caught him. All right, I think I got a few memes for that.
Throwing cats? Flying cats? Oh, there's definitely memes.
Jody the flying cat. All right, we're working on something here. Something's coming together. But I mean, basically, guys, the show's over. It's just going to be me and Josh chatting at each other for another hour anyway while he finishes his build. You guys can hang. We can stay on. I don't care. Usually all the good shit happens after the show anyway.
Well, just gotta let our pants down. I mean, our guard down, like we do when we're not broadcasting.
They know damn well neither one of us have pants on.
Nope. I do have my fat shorts on, though. I'm not just, free balling tonight.
James, is he going to remember Dottie, though? If he doesn't remember it, it's... Yeah, he's got a good memory, though. He probably remembers when he was real young.
Yeah, we're just waiting for his Alzheimer's to kick in. Then the real fun starts.
So Jody and Dottie and... All right. Oh, just a moment, sir.
Oh, holy shit.
Uh-huh.
Oh, check that out. No, I was holy shitting because that solder stayed molten for way longer than I expected.
You know what? I always blow on it because that shit happens to me all the time. Just click on that link right there, sir. It is a link, right? It doesn't look like it from where I'm sitting. If not, I'm sure we can get Josh to send it direct.
Let's see. Let me know if I need to do something.
It should just take you straight to the website, brother, and there he is. Mr. The original Ford. How you doing, sir?
Yeah. So yeah, I got I'm an ordained reverend just to put it on my checks. That's all. There's no other reason. It's like, you could do it too.
That is such a Ford thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Dodie. It's not Dottie but Dodie. Yeah. So my nickname was Mamie, and his was Dodie, and we were small children. But as far as stories of things he's done, so yeah, he took that cat. He like closed the doors on either side of the room, and this was in North Carolina. He grabbed the cat by the tail and was swinging it like this, like like this.
Oh, I was
And
picturing a horizontal over the
oh
head.
no. And then he would let it go. And the cat, I think, hit the fan or something. And then my mom's like, what the hell? And then she literally runs in the room and goes, what the hell's going on? And she's yelling at him in Portuguese or something. And she's and he's like, what? She likes it. Like the most innocent, that face he gives, like what? And
I
then
know
whatever.
I know
When
the
you
face.
said it, all I could see is the face.
I know the
Yeah,
face.
it's
He
the
still
same
uses
face he
it.
gives. Like what? You know?
It's the
You
most
can't
natural thing in the
say-
world.
Yeah. And he ended up receiving. That's why he has, like, on his left-hand side, he has 2 scratch marks on the side of his face, and that's because the cat got him the last time he did it. The cat like scratched him, and he has these 2 scars on the side of his face. If you
So
notice,
left side.
next to his eyes.
Okay,
But
every
most people
time,
don't see it because he wears the glasses.
every time I talk to him now, I'll just doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I'm getting some makeup. I'm gonna put 2 big gashes.
All right, here's some tip for tat between us. Oh God. So,
James' revenge.
well, they're sort of. So we had this neighbor that just group of horrible people, I guess. And these folks had their last child really late, like they were in their 50s and 60s, and they had this next door neighbor kid of ours named Willie. Willie was slightly older than us, but there was no other kids in the neighborhood really. It was just him. Well, he got a hold of his dad's golf clubs, and we would play like a miniature version of golf in his backyard. But Willie was just cruel with things or whatever, and I was on Willie's team, and I won. Well, I ended up swinging the golf club around like I fucking won, Pickle Rick, and uh, yeah, I hit him on the side of the head with that golf club. And, so almost a year later, we're doing the same thing. My parents are like, "You're not allowed to do this." Well, yeah, we did it, and he said the same thing, except for this time, Joe hit me.
But he liked it.
Well, nah, not that. Yeah, but yeah, we both got in serious trouble over that. Apparently, my father went over there and bought the golf clubs from the neighbor and then broke them all like in front of us, like that'll teach you. And we're like, so it's like the worst parent lesson that you could possibly think of that would work. So yeah, I have a pair of golf clubs. It's like in play. But whatever. Oh, God, what are the stupid things? Okay, so here's a thing. So our mom is kind of well known in the quilting world. Okay, she's like won these huge giant awards. Her stuff's like in the Smithsonian. I mean, like stupid, like out of this mind, like magazine shit, right? Well, when we were younger, she used to make these like dresses for like Miss North Carolina and stuff like that, for them to go to pageants and stuff. Well, she also did like ballerina tutus and stuff.
I know
Well,
where this is going.
yeah, this is what happened. So it gets a little worse because I made it worse because that's who I am. So he was wearing a tutu and she was like seaming it, and I took a picture of it. And this is back when Polaroids were a thing. So, you had to wave it and everything. So I hid that sucker, right? Time goes by. All right. We moved from California to Portugal, from Portugal to Germany. Okay. So we're in like Frankfurt, Germany and stuff, and we're going to school. Well, one day he had this one friend of his that was just like he was always on my butt, and God, I couldn't stand him. Well, anyway, so I was like, fine, you want to go this direction with it. So I went to school and took that picture and showed all of his friends.
Oh man.
Now, that's just one of the things I've done to him, but God. So he wore a tutu, and I had a picture of it. And his best friend, that one that was like kind of what caused the situation, in my opinion, as a teenage kid, he took that picture, and I'm not sure what happened with it, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it traveled.
But I mean, that was a true friend for him, yeah, for sure. Whereas me, that ruined my evil plan.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I've got a tutu right behind me up there.
Ironically enough,
and I'm not going to explain why.
Well, it wasn't last year, this year before, something like that. It was before COVID, of course. For Halloween, they had these Walmart dragon sort of suit things for Halloween that you would zip up. I grabbed a tiara and like a little miniature tutu, and I went to this Halloween party with a bunch of like EMTs, nurses, and stuff, and they're like, "What are you?" And I'm like, "I'm a fucking dragon princess." What's wrong with you? You don't know
what?
Yeah, it was like what? Like that. Like, what's wrong with you? Anyway,
so you're the reason he acts the way he does at work.
I mean, defensive, probably. It's probably. Honestly, though, I mean, that's the Portuguese way. You give somebody something to love, and then you use it against them.
Dude, that ain't just Portuguese, bro. I grew up that way in Southern California.
Okay, well, you might be Portuguese.
Hey, you torture the most the people you love the most.
Oh yeah, and you tell them, "I'm doing this for you."
Yeah, I mean, I treat complete strangers a lot nicer than I treat Josh, and he's like my best friend.
Well, I heard that. I mean, but
yes.
Yeah, you had to have seen that link I put up. So my kids were telling me about it this afternoon, about the Josh fight. Because I sent
that was cool. He must go.
Well, it's already done. It happened 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
I saw
over 1,000 Joshes met in Lincoln, Nebraska to fight each other for the right to the name of Josh. And it was, of course,
tonight. It's probably backwards, but it is.
Yeah.
Wait, is that you?
Yeah, that was me.
I had
to send it to a Josh.
Okay, so I just put it together because I saw the James F.
Yeah.
All I saw was Rachel James F. I don't know who this is. And I'm like, I got a random text, and I already knew what it was because I saw it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm getting this shit as spam. I shared it in one of our private chats. Like, this is spam.
He's bitching about spam. All I read was, there can only be one. And I was like, yes. I don't know what it is, but yes.
The NPR journalist or what have you that wrote that put that at the top of the title. There can only be one, and it's an NPR article, so I'm tending to believe it. That this occurred.
Can you imagine if they did that with Chucks? Oh my dude, that would be a bloody horrible battle. It would not end well. We're all assholes.
A society of wills. That's another one, which is the pun double entendre. So there's quite a few. I think there's like a group of Erics, and all they do is sell T-shirts. Say Eric Rules or something like that. So I just is dumbfounded. This is the stuff that comes up when people are at home working. Okay,
dude, the meme world has exploded. I love it.
Oh yeah.
glorious gifs and
doing the same thing with my company right now, with Barcode. I was just saying, like right when you were talking about it, and you're like, "What are you talking about work for?" I was like, yeah, "I'm doing that right now." Oh man, just so that we could fire people.
how fun.
No,
That's
it's not.
why we do it, but
That's what I told them. No, it's like, it's like, I was like, good, so we can fire people. And they were like, what? It's like, oh, I just want to see your face. So,
Absolutely.
no, I mean, if I'm at the point in my life where I'm already retired and don't give an F for the most part, and I do this
he
for
works just to have something to do to get out of the house, not because he has to pay bills.
it's because Rachel wants me to stop working on things in the house. So
Hey,
she's yelling
hold on.
because
If
I
she
never
could hear
finished.
me,
Oh
if
yeah,
she could hear me, if he stops working on stuff, he will die.
yeah.
There's truth to that.
There is. I'm not even joking.
She's a VA. Well, was a VA nurse, and that's a well documented thing for veterans.
Without purpose, a man dies.
Yeah. Well, that's it's usually 5 years after they get out, people start dying.
Listen to her.
That's a
You-
truth, man.
Hey, you don't have a really good health insurance policy, do you? Because
I have like 3.
you're fucked.
No, I have the Humana, I have something with hers, and then the. But I don't know, man. I used to work for the VA. No, this is not optometry. It's like, no, I used to say that. No.
Careful, the internet is forever.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And it is
So-
for fun.
But yeah, I don't care. It's like,
That's okay.
I'm not
There's like 3 people watching us, so
Oh yeah.
well, when I run
Yeah.
for office one day, yeah, they'd be like, they'll say something.
I like her already.
No, this is Wisconsin, man. This place
Where
is
in
awesome.
Where in
we're
Wisconsin are you?
we're in between Madison and Milwaukee. We're like right in the Lake Country.
Dude, Oconomowoc?
Yep, that's where Rachel works at the hospital there.
Dude, I pick up from the Target Center there all the time. I'm a trucker.
Yeah, that Roundies or something like that. I think it's called.
Roundies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do Dick's Sporting Goods is what I deliver, and I am there at the Roundies Dick's Sporting Goods, every single Thursday night and Friday morning.
Dude, we gotta go eat something or whatever because I mean, I live like 15 minutes away from there. Rachel works at the hospital. So
I'll be there tomorrow.
yeah, man.
You just saved him from another round of kebabs.
What time will you be there?
Oh,
Yeah, because you have timelines, right?
about dinner time. Well, no, because what we do is I pick up. I'm at the DC right now. I live in my truck, so and I'll pick up at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll drive up there. Probably be there anywhere between 3 and 5:30 or so. Depends on how much I lag. Yeah.
I think I could make it if Rachel picks up the kids because they have baseball.
Yeah, sure, dude. They got some good shit to eat right in there too. There's so many restaurants in there now.
Yeah, but there's this one place right downtown. If you just keep going down the road to Oconomowoc, there's this burger place that's pretty kick-ass, and yeah, that's all I could say. We go there with my wife because she has like celiacs and stuff, so they do gluten-free stuff and what have you. But it's pretty good.
Yeah, I will be in Wauwatosa around dinner time.
That's a made-up word. No, it's like, Rachel said the Bel Air Cantina in Wauwatosa is the best taco place she's ever been to. So
interesting.
Yeah, there's also. I love this state, man. This state is awesome. You got
Yeah, you know what?
blue
In the
hair
spring,
and love your guns. So
in the springtime and in the fall, it is one of the most beautiful places in the country.
oh, not no, yeah, not in the winter.
Any other time, you can you can have it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, my other question that I had, and I'm not sure if you answered. I was picking up my son from his music practice at school. But anyway, he had something. Well, anyway, what platforms would you start out on now? I think you were talking about platforms that you said that were in museums or something like that. Like if you had to right now and been like, okay, I've got. Well, here's probably a better question. About how much do you guys spend in a platform? It's probably right about what, 500 to $1,000
To get started.
Yeah.
It used to be like that. I probably paid $1,200 to get started with crap. Well, I bought some good stuff, but the quad was crap.
Well, you said you
but
picked up a platform for like $17.
well,
That it? Or you picked up $17?
like dude, Chris can build a drone for $250 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
And a
you
very
can
nice
spend
one.
a very nice one. Yeah, one we would be proud to fly.
No, I need something to beat up because I'll go through trees like you.
Well,
You were saying. No, I'm
believe
pretty.
it or not,
It's like-
the better parts will stand up better than the cheaper parts.
True. But there are better, cheaper parts now. Like the frame that what is it again, Josh? The RDQ.
What are you talking about?
The frame, man. $20, $30 frame. TBS originally made it.
Oh, the Source One. I'm sorry.
Source one. Yeah, it's like
When you
$30
said
frame.
RDQ, anyway.
RDQs ended up being better, I think. But anyways, and you can spend as little or as much as you want on a transmitter and goggles.
Yeah.
I would say spend more on goggles than you want to. But there are good cheapies. I mean, you can $200 you could have transmitter and goggles. Spend $200 on batteries.
Yeah.
So
you can blow them up.
$50 on a charger, and you're pretty
There's
much
a few things,
good.
yeah, that you're going to spend money on that it doesn't make sense to scrimp too hard on. Then there's other things where you can totally get bottom of the barrel stuff and you'll be fine. Like if you told me, well, I'm going to get the $10 motors, I wouldn't even bat an eye at you because no matter what motors we put on your stuff, you're going to break them and bend them.
Yeah, and that's my point behind it.
But things like the transmitter, the goggles, those are things you wouldn't want to scrimp on because in 3 months you'll be going, I need something better, and now you've wasted $200.
But then again, I mean, the QX7 is what, $89 to $100?
Right.
That's nothing.
No, but it's making sure that somebody like James doesn't run out and buy, a Fly Sky transmitter instead.
Yeah, no. Yeah, QX7 is about $100, and you will never grow out of that.
Yeah.
Josh uses it to this day.
I always look at it as return on investment. If it's something I could reuse with other items, is it modular? Can I swap it in and out of something else after it dies? That sort of thing. And I hear the main thing I keep seeing, and you guys actually keep talking about, and I'm not saying this is negative. In fact, it's a very positive thing, in my opinion, which is battery lives, how long they last, how easy are they to use, and you're also talking about, as far as I assume with what you guys were talking about, and is how long you fly your unit until it dies versus until you have a successful flight and landing, which I think the landing is the hardest part, as I understand.
No, landing's pretty easy. Well, I mean, dude, if you get like a few inches off the ground and you turn off, flip the switch to kill it, you've landed. You're not going to break shit landing. You're going to break shit losing control and flying away from yourself and falling from 100 feet up in the air, and
Yeah.
that's how you're going to break shit.
Do you have a background in RC? And I ask because your brother did RC planes and helicopters and things years ago. So did you do that as well?
A little different. So I was the kid that took my dad's RC planes, stuck them to a 540 cord, and basically swung them into trees.
Yeah, he was the cool kid. He wasn't the nerd.
Furious. Okay? And then my brother would say, "It's my turn," and then it would come back broke. And my dad said, "Who did it?" And I would point at him. I'd be like, "You did that." And then my brother's like, like, why? And it's like, son, a good one.
What I would tell you to do, and this will be a real easy way to get into to see if you even like it at all, is just to buy a QX7 for $100. You got to buy it. Does it come with the cord, Josh? Or if you have
I want to say it comes with everything you need.
It's a mini USB size. To
USB. Are
USB.
you talking about for the simulator?
I am.
No, you end up having to buy an adapter for that.
Okay. That's good to know. I'm trying to get somebody else into flying.
What'd you call it?
And then there's a simulator out there for it's like $20 off of Steam, and you can fly around and see if you even like it.
What's it called? Writing this down. What'd you call it?
Well, first the transmitter is a Taranis, Taranis QX-7.
Okay.
If you're smart, you'll get the one with the Hall gimbals in it already. It's like $20 more. And I don't know what the fucking adapter is called. A dongle?
I have to look it up.
A sim dongle? I don't know. Josh will get you that.
Well, it's called a simulator adapter or a USB.
It would be like a USB-C to like a regular USB or something like that effect.
No, it's not that. It actually does some conversion to a USB signal. So there may even be a few channels that it converts or it inverts.
And the simulator is called Liftoff.
Okay.
And you know what Steam is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Steam. And there's a few different simulations on there too if you want to play around with other ones, but Liftoff's your standard.
Okay. That's some good advice there.
And that way, if you decide you don't like it for whatever reason at that point, you've only wasted about $140.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah. I'm sure be happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's rather than throwing in like $500 or $600 and saying, well, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my other background though is while I was in the military, I did airline cruise missiles, advanced cruise missiles and whatnot. I worked at avionics systems, fuel systems, the Elevons fins. I did testing for that, level 3 testing.
Yeah, your cool level just went up. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course the coding for B-52s, and then I hit kind of like I was doing Calcum, which Calcum was like a first strike weapon. It was also used. We used all 176 of them, which basically it flew on itself, but we would program and test, have you, and then we would use them on people and places. So, and we used all of them. So,
you might know the name of this. I know we're sidetracking here, but I used to do commercial flooring.
Okay.
It's not if I said what it was called, you'd be like, okay. It's a very long scientific name thing. MMA. It's kind of like epoxy, but it's acrylic and it's on crack.
Yeah. That stuff was awesome, man. So
Methylmethacrylate monomer. If you've ever
yeah,
heard that word, you
yeah,
have? Holy
yeah.
shit. Okay, you're about the 7th person I've met in my life that knows what that is.
Dude, that
Oh,
stuff's awesome, man.
it is. It's what Germany used to repair their runways with.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That stuff
but
is,
anyways,
yeah.
we
We
were.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. We were. I know, right? We were doing a missile factory down in Texas.
Yeah.
I forget the name. It's the two companies that came together.
Northrop Grumman,
What's that?
Northrop Grumman, or Booz Allen. There's also Boeing. Uh, but
Boeing and the
yeah,
other one.
they were kind of put together a little bit.
They made the Atlas V.
There's another one. Yeah. So, well,
Um,
the other half of my career, which I ended up retiring from, was ICBMs. So, yeah, peace.
nice. Well, these were
I've
all
been to a
satellite ones. At least that's
well,
what they told us.
well, he's near the RSO right now, aren't you? You near the Cape, Josh?
Am I what?
You're near the Cape right now.
Well, I'm in Georgia right now.
Oh, well,
Uh,
huh, there's
but
plenty of
check.
companies that are outside of there that feed the Cape. That's
Oh,
yeah.
But
Anyway,
anyways, and we were doing the flooring in there, and I'm rallying around in a freaking forklift with 55-gallon drums double stacked on pallets around, multi-million-dollar jigs, um and well, off to the corner, they walked us past them, and they let us look at all of them, but they made us sign something. I'm not going to say what it is because
it's an NDA, non-disclosure agreement.
I was trying not to say it on the internet,
That's not
but
bad.
um, it was, well, you remember the Patriot missile and how it was a
Yeah.
little bit of a flop, at least in the public eye. Well, the next version of that they called something else, but it
You're
was
talking about Coyote?
Patriot 2.0 is what it was. And anyways, dude, so they were working on like the top half of the rocket, and they didn't have the warheads right there, obviously, but they had, cones so they could put everything together, and I thought that was really fucking cool to see. And we met the dude who paints the Atlas Fives.
That's interesting.
Yeah, dude, his paint booth obviously was fucking the biggest paint booth you've ever seen.
Yeah, I imagine that thing is.
And he was the only guy in the whole place that did it. He paints these things all by himself.
Mm-hmm.
That
Well,
dude was
some
a
of that
character.
paint is carcinogenic, and I mean straight up, like it says on the label, will cause cancer. Like it, no Pasco. And because so when we would deal, and that's usually near the tail section where the basically the bellows for the boosters and the flame comes out, as
Yeah.
far as the chemical mixture and it's usually a solid stick, but Atlas has also had a chemical, I'm sorry, a fuel, as I understand it, that they did something with. But anyway, so Atlas fours and Atlas fives are still rumbling around. So
Hell, I'm sure that plant's still pushing them out, man.
yeah, well, the interesting thing is what SpaceX and Orbit and all those folks are doing, because they're using reusable ones, which is unheard of. Because think about it, man, all the man hours and everything that goes into creating one of those things, and then they drop it into the ocean, and of course it's all pent up, and the finding that sucker is, I'm sure they're like, whatever, we'll write it off. But the reusable ones, that is just so interesting because then you don't have to spend all that funding
Your brother
redoing.
has been sharing all the shorts, all the short videos on it, and it's actually been really interesting. He just feeds them to us whenever they come out,
Oh yeah,
and I
he
guess
loves that
people
stuff,
I guess
man.
people are still watching. Lockheed Martin was the plant that I was
Lockheed.
in, and I don't know why I can never remember that. It's like the biggest fucking one.
Well, Lockheed
And
Martin runs the RSO right now. which the RSO is the big giant building at the Cape where they put
Yeah.
together all of the stages. And it's the largest maintenance building in the world, really, for aircraft or aerospace, whatever. It's the
So
most awesome thing you'll ever see. I don't know if you've been through Orlando to the other side, to the Cape, to
no,
Scott.
I've only been on the west coast of the Gulf side.
Yeah, it's like it's next to where Disney loads all its ships for cruise ships, honestly. And you're like, I don't know, 50 miles away from it, and it's unmistakable. It's so huge. It's tremendous. But yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad sends that stuff to us and to the kid as far as all that. He's huge into it.
Dude, that one that I don't know, he might have got it from your dad or whatever, but the new way they're measuring earthquakes depths, the depth of earthquake, that thing was that animation was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting now.
I've been throwing that one everywhere.
The transducers that are in the ground, as far as that send those things off, it's funny because we would be in Wyoming, and I could see when a earthquake goes off in like New Mexico or Mexico City or even Brazil. I could see it because it would show up on our equipment. It's amazing.
But dude, when you see that cone that goes all the way to almost to the fucking core, it's like, oh, mama.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's technology that's like you figure like, well, yeah, we should have had that a while ago. No, it just didn't happen. So
No, I don't think even the software was available to even
I can agree with that.
conjure an image for us to see.
There's so many. But yeah, so I did that for a while. Then I did. I've been to Cheyenne Mountain. There is there's Stargate Command, but sticker on the janitor's closet.
Fuck yeah,
There's the gym. The gym that's there. It's called Gowold's Gym. Like they pronounced it that way. Or,
hey, you do know who's gonna survive World War III, right?
I
The
know
nerds.
it.
It's the nerds of the world.
Cockroaches.
No, it's Idiocracy. It's those dudes that just keep boning all the cheerleaders. they're the ones. Their progeny are going to survive.
Yeah.
It's Idiocracy, man.
I firmly believe that the world will eventually go that way.
Nah. I don't know if there ever is going to be a World War III now. I mean, there's just, I don't know. Dude, I don't watch the news. Ever since I retired, I don't watch the news anymore. I don't
That's a good
watch
thing.
any of that stuff.
I know all the politics that are going on, and dude, it is fucking high school. Like,
Yeah.
it's stupid, man.
So, I'll tell you this story. This happened. There was a task force named Task Force 214, and basically you run. I was part of the operations center, and we run all the ICBMs for the United States. Okay, and it's reporting what's going on, earthquakes, you name it, weather, all sorts of stuff. The manning situations, who are aware if there's vehicle accidents, you name it, everything dealing with what's going on with that system. Well, our boss had to go speak in front of the Senate subcommittee, with Senator Spears, and they warned us. She came to do like a tour of our little bat cave, if you will, and what was going on, and everybody was like, "Hey, do not say drink the Kool-Aid, because or get on board." And we were like looking around like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what you mean by that, and that's because there was a change in who was the Secretary of the Air Force at the time. It changed like 2 times within a year. So it was a big deal. Well, we're all looking at each other, and finally, after like the aide leaves, and well, she leaves, and whatever, we're looking at each other, and we're finally like, what the hell's with the drink the Kool-Aid? Well, it turned out when she was an intern, as a politician, she was part of the group that went down to Jonesville, or what is it, where they drank the Kool-Aid and they all died with that cold.
Jonestown.
No.
Yeah.
Jonestown.
And I was like, what? Like, no kidding, we're not saying that, because I was like, we all looked at each other like, why would we say that to her? Like, look, we're the truth speakers. We're the ones who did get to the core of the situation. We don't care if we're, out of opinion or not. We don't use opinion. We use facts, like straight up hardcore facts. What's the research? What's this? What's that?
So she was there when they did it? Oh. My internet is failing.
I don't think it's yours.
Captive, and it could be mine. My kids are doing stuff.
Yeah, we didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, whatever. It's the kids.
No, it's not. Your
It's my wife.
The Xbox on it takes off all the bandwidth.
Yeah, Rachel.
Hey, if Dad says that it's your damn game, it's your damn game, okay?
Oh my
wife.
Good thing I can't understand a word he's saying.
I don't know if you saw that.
We saw nothing. We didn't hear nothing.
He's trying to distract me. What are you doing?
We're trying to have a conversation here, boy.
He's trying to dance like Beyonce in that stupid video.
Wow.
Or no.
Don't make me come over there, dude.
Doing Bob's Burgers.
Oh,
when she tries to twerk.
Oh, Tina from Bob's Burgers trying to twerk. There, you guys. I don't know if you like Bob's Burgers.
I try to avoid it at all costs.
But yeah, that that happened. I got to meet a few senators and what have you. 60 Minutes came through.
I don't know if you said it, but I asked. So she was there when they drank it?
I think they were captured at the time. There's a whole documentary about this.
Well, yeah, I seen it because when some of the people were chickening out while everybody was drinking, the dude saw it and started just having motherfuckers shot. That's why I asked that.
Well, I don't know. I just remember she was injured. They were kidnapped, and they were flown out. And then they started, I guess, killing themselves, drinking the Kool-Aid. Or it was something like that, because they thought the government and the end times were there, or something.
Yeah. What was her name?
Senator Spears.
Spears. I'm going to have to look that up. That's interesting.
I think she's Montana? I don't know, because we covered New Mexico because the Los Alamos is there.
It'll be on the internet for sure.
It's certain. You just look her up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we met quite a few people. Rachel Maddow. Oh my gosh, she drives me nuts. Like, that person is. She's.
We're live still. No, I'm not going to hurt anyone. That was a joke.
What are you talking about?
Jesus. I don't know. I'm deliriously tired.
She's an interesting person. She cares about ratings. That's probably about it.
No joke.
But we'd have to respond to stuff like that she would put out, and that's because she would talk about our enterprise. God, so many things. But I mean, they're interesting. But yeah, Cheyenne Mountain was probably the coolest thing I got to do.
That would be extremely cool. Did you get to see any kind of main control rooms of the place or anything? Because that would be
Actually,
cool.
my cohort was the NCOIC. I was the NCOIC for 214, which reported to Northcom, which is what they are.
Yeah.
And my cohort was the NCOIC of that one. So he took us around, but of course they there's a term for it, but basically cleared everything, so there's nothing that we could see that of
Still. So what?
Then-
You're there. This is the place.
Well, half the stuff I already knew, but it didn't matter. I mean, to me, because I was like, yeah, I already know. It's like, but the rest of the group that we were with, because it was our class for the academy, we were going through it, and he showed us all sorts of stuff. Yeah, there's ducks in the lakes there. That's a real thing. And they stuck a little tiny canoe in there, also, so you could see the water.
What do you know about the aliens that the government's going to release?
That's an interesting subject that you say that. And I'll say this. I've wasted 2 weeks on a report to someone over a 25-cent part because of some dude wearing a tinfoil hat said he wanted a Freedom of Information Act to go through to find out why aliens took over a site. And we're a 25-cent broken part, okay? From China, by the way. So it's like... like this.
I don't know, Josh. I saw how lively he got as soon as that was brought up.
All right. My brain about blew up. Okay. when I was told by so I'm not a Christian or anything, but God bless Colonel Flint. Okay. And Colonel Flint's like, James, I got a job for you. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, you're probably gonna hate this. I'm like, okay. And he just let me know up front, but yeah, no damn aliens. All right. It's just people being dumb. All right, it's what it is.
That we have
some lady in a
moo
and some dude in tinfoil hat.
What do you think of the newest batch of the government telling everybody there's fucking Tic Tacs and shit?
Oh, that naval report. So that is very interesting. And what I have to say about that is I can neither confirm or deny the existence of blah, 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 for another 14 years, or else I go to jail.
Exactly.
Yeah, I may be tired, but I signed paperwork too.
Watch, some conspiracy theorist fuck will find this like 10 years later, looking when he's going through YouTube.
You know what? We just don't know. I'll say that. That's probably a better statement. Instead of making a positive claim about something, I don't know about this stuff. I only knew what I worked.
It's probably better not to know.
I don't know if it is. But I'll say this is that there's a lot of people that come out with positive claims, meaning this happened without any evidence. And you know what? Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question for you that you might or might not be able to answer. Are there old nuke silos in San Pedro, California?
There's old nuke silos everywhere. Okay.
So do you know Fort MacArthur?
Yeah.
It's the old closed down base. Well, when they closed that down, they turned it into continuation school spot.
Okay.
So all the bunkers, the gun emplacements were the concrete emplacements were still no guns left. But there was this part that was always fenced off that you were never allowed to go into. And well, being a teenager and probably on an undisclosed amount of methamphetamine,
you want to find that shit out.
we decided it would be a great idea, and we knew we could do this, was to go down to the bottom of the cliffs, walk up the frickin' water drainage pipe, and walk through the damn water drainage sewers, and we got lost. Dude, we actually got to a point where we saw a hole this big and there was light up there, and we heard kids playing, and we pulled an it. We pulled a Pennywise.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
And, right?
My
And we
oldest
got
really likes
we got the. Thank God this kid didn't know what that was, because we got the kid to come over and we got him to tell us what cross streets we were at, so because we were lost.
Yeah.
And we got the right direction, and we kept going, and the pipe got a little smaller where we all had to hunch down the whole way, and it was hot as fuck in there, and no water or anything had gone through this frickin' pipe in God knows how many years. Cobwebs the whole way.
We could have gone through like 100-year storm pipe.
Right? That's probably. And when we got to the end of it, we climbed up a ladder into what we were told was an old nuke silo.
Could have been, depends. So the nuke silos are not like how they are right now. In addition, or going to be, because there's a new system coming out.
All we know is it was a big square room, and there was a big round entrance at the top, and in the middle of the room there were these gigantic metal rectangle doors that would go like this. That's all we saw.
So, Google or look up anything with the Atlas sites or the Titan sites, the old Titan sites and old Atlas. Because what they did is they had a type of star pattern, if you will. So you would have your command center, where the guys who would sit and actually, do the keys, if you will, and all that sort of stuff. And then you had like an equipment room next to it. Then you had all the sites actually ran with piping to where people can go from, like, if you went to one missile, they were literally connected by tunnels, and the maintainers would run all the way down to the whatever missile, look at it, look at a Mosher. A Mosher is a missile fault, a Gimmer for ground fault. So, will you go take a shower and stop messing with me, Cornholio?
Later.
We can smell your balls from here.
He just came back from baseball. Yeah. It's like, but anyway, so that was a real thing, and a lot of those places were retired, and either the land was given back to the state, or it was given back to the city or town, or people bought them. And especially during the 2020 thing and the 2012 deal and 2000, all those preppers that were prepping to get ready.
I know where you're going with this. Yes,
a lot of those folks, like, they were selling like floors of evacuation spaces for something like $1 million a floor or something like that. But those folks were actually hoarding and purchasing all the MREs and dried food and everything else, emergency food for preppers. But yeah, you can purchase those things. So right now there's peacekeepers outside of peacekeeper sites outside of north of Cheyenne, Wyoming, and there's a good solid amount out there, and some of them, like the farmers, like just filled with hay. Some of them they just left to rust. But I mean, there's all sorts of things in there. One of them they turned into a state site or a federal site so that people can see, hey, this is what was a peacekeeper. And peacekeepers held, they held, I think it's 10 or 11 warheads at a time.
Wow.
But yeah, that was my generation of group of people. Well, our generation. I mean, I assume you're the same age, if not older than me. But
no, you're old, bro.
I'm old. I don't know. Josh has got like older kids, so it's like
I started young.
I was really surprised how old your children were. In fact, you were like, "Oh, my kids," and I'm like, "But they're in their 20s." Like, I was like, "Whoa!"
I am 40. My wife is 46.
43.
I'm the same age as your wife.
So and the oldest is my stepdaughter.
Now my balls are 46 years old.
Okay. The missile site in San Pedro that we went to, and it was one, is a Nike missile site.
A Nike? Yeah.
Nike, yes.
Yeah.
Nike Hercules missile defense silo.
Yeah, I remember these. They had like Mercury's, they had Thor's, they had, all these, gods, for names of sites. Atlas was a Titan. Funny enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they have a Titan missile. Then they,
If it matters, it's called LA-43.
Yeah.
It's from 1955 to 1974.
Yeah.
So,
and you also have to be careful because a lot of those things, you got to think about it. The EPA laws were not in existence. So it was like, take MEK and clean it. Sure. So,
yeah, and as far as they knew, that place was sealed off.
Yeah.
It's just kids found a way in.
Look, past least resistance. It works for electricity and water and people and politicians. So,
have you ever seen the movie, the remake of Sergeant Wilco?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's what's that dude's name, Josh? You know what I'm talking about. The white Afro guy.
Yeah.
White Afro guy.
Don't say Richard Simmons.
No, not Richard Simmons.
Oh, the guy that played Willy Wonka?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder.
He was a comical genius, in my opinion.
He was also a prick, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that fame, I assume.
Yeah, well, San Pedro is like I don't know if it still is, but it's the #1 filmed place in the freaking world. Every damn movie you've seen has scenes in San Pedro, probably.
That's pretty.
And Fort MacArthur is one of the sites that they did. The Young Superman was filmed there. The Power Rangers was filmed there. Like all kinds of stuff. I didn't know that. Yeah. G.I. Jane. I was almost an extra in G.I. Jane, but I refused to shave my mustache off because I was cool.
I would have shaved my mustache. Hindsight 2020.
Yeah. Well, there was a scene in Sergeant Wilco where they start playing hockey inside this barracks building, and that barracks building was my class. I remember that. And the barracks building was my classroom, and the window they smashed into, the desk in front of the window they smashed into while they were body checking each other was my desk.
Huh. That's kind of.
And Gene Wilder, he would ride a beach cruiser around the base every fucking morning.
It's New York City.
You could talk to him, you could wave to him, hey, I love you, Gene Wilder, blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't even fucking look at you.
I believe it. It's interesting how fame affects people. Here's a kernel of truth that hardly anybody knows. And it's ironic to call him Colonel. God, what the hell is his name? God dang it. He broke the sound barrier. Chuck
Yeager.
Chuck Yeager.
I've met him as well.
Is a prolific alcoholic.
Yeah, when I was no doubt. That's not even secret.
He would get mad when the cops, the on-base cops, would not take him home instead of they fight him. It was so bad that he wasn't even on base for a while. This was in Vandenberg, California.
Yeah, I met him at an air show when I was like, I don't know, 4, 5, maybe.
That's because you could look up to him. That's why he cared. It's like, I'm telling you. Yeah, it's these funny little secrets of reality, with some of these famous people. Here's one thing. So me and my buddy Glenn Waddell, we're in Shreveport. We're outside of Barksdale Air Force Base and in Louisiana. And they were filming some sort of movie or something. And Samuel L. Jackson was there. My buddy Glenn, he's black. He was like my black twin, as far as that work goes, or my work husband, if you will. But anyway, so this is at the time when I smoked, and we're on the corner next to Blind Tiger, this club, whatever, in Freeport, and it's where Creed, where they started out playing. If you remember that band,
I try not to.
But yeah, It's just to connect that how famous it was or whatever. Anyway, so he's standing there and he's like, "You guys got a cigarette?" And I pull out my menthol lights and Glenn pulls out a cool and he looks at me and he goes, "I don't take cigarettes from white people." I didn't know if to laugh or what. I was just looking at him. I look at Glenn. Glenn's like, "That's right, motherfucker." I was dying.
Oh,
I was just like, "I'm not fucking racist shit." It's like, but anyway, and that's in me and my family's life. I guess that's how we meet famous people.
Yeah,
like that.
Your dad met.
Oh yeah, my dad met it was like 3 years ago. He met Yo-Yo Ma, and he was
just at the bathroom
because they live in DC, so and they were at the art museum or something, and my mom likes going there with my dad, and my mom went to the restroom at one of the art museums, and he's sitting there on the bench, and Yo-Yo Ma's wife comes up and goes to sit on the bench, and both sitting, and my dad's like, "Hey, so are you from DC?" You know, he does that to people who you obviously tell aren't from DC. And he's like, "No, I'm here just to do a show." And he goes, "Oh, yeah? What do you do?" And he goes, "Well, I play cello." And he goes, "Yeah, so is my grandson."
Yeah.
Like that. And then my mom comes out of the bathroom, just like, "Oh my gosh," you know, she knows exactly who he is. And my dad's like, "Oh, okay. Well, have a good day. Good luck with your fiddle." You know, it's like,
apparently, people are still listening to us. No, it's Steve Martin is Sergeant Bilko.
oh yeah, Steve Martin, Sergeant Bilko. Was it Bilko or Wilco?
Bilko with a B.
Yeah, okay.
That was
think
an
I remember
old.
that.
That was an old movie, and they remade it. It was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, Steve Martin's pretty funny too. My favorite is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I actually looked up that missile site that I was talking about, and I'm glad that I asked you about that because I hadn't thought about this in years. And I'm sitting here looking at pictures, and that's the fucking place I was in.
That's
I recognize the room.
So,
Yeah,
here's an interesting thing. I had to pull jury duty before I left Cheyenne. And it was for some meth head that said the pants she was wearing that were full of meth weren't her pants.
Of course not.
Yeah. So that was interesting. But one of the guys that I was like, because they evaluate you for jury duty, I'm not sure if you guys had to pull it. Well, they ask you questions, and this one guy was like, "If you ask a lot of questions, you know, they let you go." And so I started asking questions. Yeah, that was Jedi mind trick.
Hey, I heard something just the other day that they were talking about jury duty, and they were like, "How scary is our justice system, where you get tried by a jury of your peers, aka people that weren't smart enough to get out of jury duty?"
I went to my.
I was dying.
I went to my boss, which was the chief of staff of the hospital, and I was like, "I got pulled for jury duty. Is there a way to get out of it with the PA?" And he looks at me and goes, "You're going to jury duty," just like that, just straight up.
What a dick.
Yeah, he was. That's for sure. But anyway, that happened. But he, so I was talking to this guy, the guy that Jedi mind tricked me. He said what he did for a job is that he took his drone, or what's the term that you guys use for it? FPV?
Quad. Oh,
Drone.
we call them
quad.
Quad. Yeah.
Okay, so he took his quad and he does the whole first person view, and he goes through with it. And
He's playing his fucking game again, isn't he?
Rachel? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. She's paying the bills. Shut your face.
Oh. Good woman.
Yeah, look. It's good to.
Will she
Oh.
fuck me up if I tell her to go make me a sandwich?
It's good to be arm candy. Just say that. It's like it's good to have a sugar mama.
Right. Yeah.
Nah. Joe didn't learn that.
Oh, that was below the belt.
No, but his lady did.
I don't know. Laura's pretty cool. I'll say.
Yeah, she is really cool.
But I mean, who else would go? Yeah, build that monstrosity, my husband, my lover. You know.
I was the one that convinced him to fucking do it in the first place.
I have to say that thing is awesome.
Wait, that big quad?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Look, he had that gigantic freaking motor. He only had one, and he showed that to us on this show one time,
Yeah.
and I did not leave him alone until he started buying big quad shit.
Oh man, and that's because of the what is it, Evan's dad or something like that, and how he enjoyed playing with them, or I don't know. Ended up getting those engines or something. I don't know.
Something.
But yeah, he had a hookup somehow. So,
Oh, and he's got the bike shop, so he got all that carbon sent in, and yeah.
well, I mean, he does have a history of working with a lot of carbon. I'll say that. But as far as the bike shop, that's been an endeavor of love. I'll say that. I remember being a kid and going, "You paid what for a bike?" You know, and I'm thinking, you can buy a car for that. You know,
You could buy me a car for that.
I was, what? And then he got into that first accident and was just messed up. And then years later, another lady hit him that was high or whatever. The lady stood on top of the hood and screamed and yelled at him. Why was he laying down mangled in front of her vehicle? Basically.
Real quick, that's the room we were in.
That's
the freaking the bottom doors that are it's underground. So that was the first set of doors, and then there were the upper doors, and it was the kind of missile that what
rolled up and
all right, you're breaking up again.
Oh, it rolled out and then rolled up.
Yeah, well,
because of the truck.
Yeah, well, probably because I've seen the doors on the top are the two doors that you know they come out like a cardboard box on that. Those are the upper doors, and this is the lower part. So I'm assuming that they stored it under here.
Yeah.
And then you could see there was some kind of track system back here.
Yeah, there's always a track system. Always a track system.
But that's just really cool. I'm glad we talked.
You want to see something pretty cool that still does it to this day? Every year they have to test it. Is the Minuteman III door blast? It's a 7-ton door of concrete and steel, and they blast it off the rails. And it just sometimes they have to put these huge giant sandbags and everything else when they test it to make sure that it doesn't go down a hill and hit a farmhouse. So think about it. That's crazy. But they do it every year. Every year they test it. Pick the site.
Hey, whoever owns that farmhouse, it's got government sponsored insurance for life.
Pretty much. Yeah, you could see if there's a rabbit hopping next to the site. That's how Doppler is. But yeah, we could see all sorts of things. Here's one. Here, I can talk about this. So, because this made the news and it went to jail.
Saying that only makes me want to hear the shit you can't talk about, right?
I can talk about this one. This was pretty good. So there's this, I guess it was a nunnery, and it was ran by this crazy priest from a Catholic, by the way. And it was in Colorado. It was in northern Colorado. I think it was November 2 or something. Well, these folks, once a year in November, they would come by and they would put this banner saying no nukes, no none of that. It basically like, oh, this is against God and everything else. Well, these folks, they put a big banner across the site, and they also threw pig's blood on it. But they got into the site, and they started banging on. We have an IMPAS pole for Doppler radar, and they thought it was the tip of the missile. So they started banging on that. Then they also opened up because we have a multi-tier lock system. And they started banging on the T-handle of one of the locks, and it was like an $8,000 mistake is what they did. So they took that plus all the other things. So we have teams that respond at 15 and 5, 15 people, 5 minutes, and they're eating concrete. That's the purpose. And these are guys that jump out of helicopters, all of that. Well, so they put those priests and nuns in the ground and made them eat dirt for getting onto the site. And this guy just got out of jail.
They're all Marines, right?
No, it's all Air Force.
Okay, I thought the Marines are the ones who guarded the nukes, though.
No.
Or that's for. Oh wait, that's for the
Dude,
Navy.
You gonna let a bunch of fuckers that eat crayons guard missiles? I don't think so.
Who do you think guards the fucking nuke shit on aircraft that run aircraft carriers, bro?
I'm just gonna let you guys know, okay? When it comes to a security function in a military, there are usually the lowest scoring people for the entrance exams, okay? So I have a shadow team, or I called them the shadows, but they were basically our fire team, just in case, for our guards. Every time we would go out there. So the last dispatch I did where I actually worked on the missile, oh my God, it was a Minuteman. And one of their team chief, the cop team chief, comes to me. What? Okay, hold on. I'll finish the story and then
he only has like 10 more stories to tell us.
I got like
you
1,000.
guys, he has so many effing stories. You have no idea.
Why do you think I told him to come on the show?
Oh my God, my
Well,
ears
to make
are
fun of
bleeding.
Joe, that's why. And I don't
Pretty
call
much.
him Joe. He's Doty. It's like,
Josh, we got to do this.
Doty.
Doty, yeah.
Well, anyway, so so their team chief, they're all talking about like just random conversations, and all of a sudden it went to girls, and we were getting ready, and my assistant, he's married with kids, and then our airmen, both of them were married with kids, and but the cops, they're almost always single. They do ridiculous things. Well, one guy, I think it was a 4-striper with a 3-striper, and I was like a 5-striper, and my assistant was a 4, and he was like, man, I get mad tail. And I was just like, okay, why are you telling me this? And he goes, and the other guy's like hyping him up. He was like, you don't know how much tail this guy gets. He goes to parties and everything. And like, I look at my assistant and we're like, well, dude, we're married. We don't care about that. We just don't care. We just want to go home. We're going to do our job and go home. and the guy was like, "No, man, you don't get it." And here's the thing: is I carried this like 2-gallon thing of alcohol, like to spray, because you never know what's going to be on the site or whatever. And it's like one of those big guys, so that like if you hit it with your fist, like it'll spray all over the place, like usually all over people. So it's usually what you do with it: you chase them. Anyway. So, so this guy's like, man, my last sergeant said you're not a real man unless you've had a VD 3 or 4 times. It's like, so we all came together in this big truck. So I look over at Eisenberger, which is my assistant, and he just hands me the the 2-gallon thing of alcohol, and I just start hammering that
You
thing,
knew what
like,
to do.
spraying it all over the truck. And I was like, "Get out of the vehicle! You're not allowed to touch anything." Like, I was like, "Go post. You're a guard. Get your ass out there and stay away from my airmen." I was like, so the people who guard things, they're not the brightest cookie in the
Nope.
crumble.
But they'll fuck you up.
Oh yeah, their entire life. Think about all the training they go through. They'll go like 6 years and never even draw their weapon.
Oh God, I'm fucking bored.
Unless to train.
No
And,
wonder all they have to do is to fucking get VD.
dude, these guys, think about it. They just, their entire career, they're waiting for somebody to fuck up, right? So they're hyped. And I mean, when something happens, they're like, "Oh," and like, next thing you know, you see weapons that aren't even issued popping out. And you're like, "Where'd you get that spring baton, dude? I know that's not issued by us. You know, I have my shotgun, but why do you got a Walter PTK or something? This makes no sense." It's like, how did you bring your own weapons? It's like, and they're, you know, they bring out their AR-15s, you know, and that's what they're issued. That, and it depends if it's an officer or even a higher ranked person. They'll have a 9mm. Like, I had my 9mm in my shotgun, and for some reason, this dude, he had some additional weapons. but yeah, like, we had this old couple in a pink Cadillac show up to one of the sites wanting
big mistake.
a tour. Yeah, wanting a tour, and yeah, we were already open, so I just told him, I was like, "Go for it." And they jacked him up, man. This old lady was
You
like,
knew. You knew.
Listen to him go for it.
You knew.
"Oh yeah, man, those dudes have been like, they're salivating, man." That was
Every
one
once in a while,
of
you
the
gotta
most
throw a
funniest
dog a
things.
bone.
Oh,
And they talked about it for the rest of their lives.
Oh, probably those old folks, yeah. Where those cops, certain,
Yeah.
they put it down in like their annual evaluation that they got to jack up people.
I have a question. Do you have any days we
Yeah.
could go to Louisiana if I got on schedule?
How many days?
Like maybe 2. A weekend and then 2
Okay.
days.
All right. I think I do. Yeah.
Okay. I need you to
Oh,
text
tomorrow.
me when I forget about it.
Here. Crap,
We
man.
need to talk. You need to stop talking
Stop.
to them.
No.
Hey,
We're not meeting for dinner
hey,
tomorrow.
at this point, we're just trying to see how much trouble we can get you in.
It's not trouble. It's that I've been working for 5 days and we need to have conversation. That's what we call it. I am right here.
Wah 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 wah.
No.
Wah 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 wah. I'm sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
But Josh. You're just digging your grave, Bob. Remember that life insurance? Remember those 3 life insurance? You remember those 3 life insurance policies we were talking about?
Yeah.
Anyways, Josh, let's make a group and put me and him in it if you would.
I will do that.
All right. And all right, for anybody, if Mr. J, you're still actually listening, I hope you enjoyed the show. And the after show. We told you guys the good shit happens after. And Josh, I'm gonna need you to end it because I already turned off my computer and everything, and I don't. Oh wait, I have it.
No.
Whoop whoop, whoop whoop. It's off. We're gonna talk about all the shit that he can't talk about on air now. Bye.